Burman's is already here, and it seems to be the best time to start releasing new phones. And behold, the Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite 5G New Edition. Basing on its specs, it's a direct competitor of the Realme Master Edition. Realme had a good start entering the flagship killer segment, but well, Xiaomi responded immediately with this phone. Let us unbox this thing. So if you want to make sure that your package still has a phone inside, better weigh it. It should be around 580 grams. Right now, it has a big 11 on the box, and most of the prints are in rose gold. Doesn't mean anything. On the bottom, it shows all of your specs and serial numbers. All right, there's an inner box with, none other than the SIM card eject tool, a bunch of documentation. We also have a Type-C headphone adapter, so no earphone jack here, a generic TPU case, Type-C charging cable, and the 33-watt fast charger. A standard package with Xiaomi phones. So the rundown of the Mi 11 Lite's specs. So 90Hz AMOLED with Dolby Vision, 10-bit color, 64-megapixel triple camera, Snapdragon 778G chip. Alrighty, now here is the phone. It is extremely light and flat. Same feeling I had when I unboxed the Mi 11 Lite 4G. Still religious to its design language. So we have the charging port on the bottom, SIM card tray, mic and bottom firing speakers, fingerprint sensor, volume rocker on the right, nada on the left side, mic and IR blaster on top, another speaker on the earpiece. So this have stereo speaker configuration. The black matte finish is slippery, but because of the flat nature of this phone and it being thin and light, your grip will actually come more from the sides. And this has the same dimension with the 4G model, so yeah, they just use the same shell here for the 5G New Edition. One thing though, I don't remember the 4G model having this here. When you brush your hand to the sides of the phone towards the screen, you will feel the edges of the glass screen. So it does not have a seamless construction, unfortunately. Using the provided TPU case will solve this issue. The display is awesome and it's quite comparable already to Samsung flagship AMOLED screens. I mean, these days, any AMOLED display will not disappoint. This has a 6.55-inch Full HD AMOLED screen with 1 billion colors, Dolby Vision and HDR10+, 90Hz refresh rate, and 800 nits of peak brightness. But on daylight, it kind of struggles. The 800 nits is just not enough. One more thing. This has the same protection as the 4G model, Gorilla Glass 5, and IP53 dust and splash protection. Software, so this is running MIUI 12.5 on Android 11. Yeah, the same thing, but navigating through the phone is way smoother thanks to the Snapdragon 778 chip. The same one found on the Realme GT Master Edition. Let's see how it performs. So we see a similar score between the Mi 11 Lite and the GT Master Edition, specifically on 3D Mark. However, on Antutu, Master Edition has a 5% lead over the Mi 11. Now let's see how it performs on real-life benchmarks on video games. So we have our benchmarks here for our usual lineups, and I'm seeing pretty good scores already. For MOBA games, these are just easy peasy for the 778 chip. Mobile Legends and League of Legends run smooth, no lags or slowdowns. But on Marvel Super Wars, I am actually noticing frame drops, especially if there's a lot of things happening on the screen. It's even prompted me that it is slowing down and that you need to lower down your graphic setting. I have tested this a number of times and being in denial still, but yeah, it's happening and I need to report it. Hope it's just a software optimization that can be resolved on future updates. Call of Duty Mobile runs pretty good here as well on both multiplayer and battle royale. Frames run smooth here, almost maxing out the 60 FPS cap, as well as the 1% low. It does not have a very big gap, so it is going to be all good here if you're going to play Call of Duty. Genshin Impact runs quite similar with the Master Edition. You'll get decent frames here. Very playable, but what's bugging me though is after running some tests, even on the lowest setting now, 60 FPS is not activating any longer. It just stays on 30. I have reinstalled the app, re-downloaded the 14 gig data, but still to no avail. If you're encountering this issue, comment it down below and tell us how you've resolved it. Anyways, here are the results with Genshin Impact's other graphic settings. As you can see here, adding a cooling fan does not boost your performance. Well, it's not really a hot chip to begin with. I even got lower frames, though the 1% low is higher by more than 10%. You'll get better result if you lower down the graphic settings, as you can see here on our data. Camera, so this has a 64 megapixel f1.8 main sensor, 8 megapixel f2.2 ultra wide sensor, and 5 megapixel f2.4 telephoto macro lens. The main sensor gives you vibrant colors, not dull at all, sharp details, good dynamic range. The ultra wide sensor is better than others on the same price range. Poco X3 GT might have the worst ultra wide sensor that I've tested, but this one here is quite usable. The super macro is something else, man. Out of all of these phones that I've reviewed ever, this has got to be the best one. It focuses well, it gives you lots of details. The bokeh effect is amazing, and the bonus is you can use this even on video mode. So yeah, it's possible to do B-roll shots using the super macro lens. Selfie camera is a 20 megapixel f2.2 sensor. Beautification, even on low level, is a bit aggressive and looks a bit too obvious. Turning it off, well, yeah, you'll see lots of details now. Portrait mode is fine. Background separation is good, but on complicated background, it may not give you the best results. So better take extra photos and just choose the best ones. Video capture from this phone is impressive, from full HD 30 and 60 FPS and 4K 30 FPS. Panning is silky smooth, lots of details, no weird distortion. It's just good, man. Probably the best in its class. The selfie video is quite okay. Colors is a little dull, not like with the Master Edition where it just renders the color very well. Charging this one takes around 1 hour and 18 minutes to fully charge. Typical number you'll get from a mid-range Xiaomi phone. All right, Netflix train test, the Mi 11 Lite 5G clocked at around 10 hours, which is a little less compared with its predecessor, the Mi 11 4G. The Realme GT can last for almost 1.5 hours more. So anyways, here's some data that you can use to compare it with other phones that I've reviewed. So we have stereo speakers on this phone. It is better than mono speakers, of course, but I find it to be not that loud when listening to music. The good thing is even on max volume, you won't hear any distortion. On video games, I find it weirdly sufficient, which should be good. Cons, there's not a lot, but it's a good thing to point it out. So again, it's not the best phone to be used outdoors, and the construction is not that seamless. And I guess the thing that plagues Xiaomi the most is their software. So conclusion, the 4G model costs around 15,000 pesos, while the new edition with 5G will cost you around 19,000 pesos. For the typical user like maybe your mom or your sister who just uses, Facebook, send messages, take phone calls, the 4G should be sufficient enough. If you want a phone that doesn't scream that I'm a gamer or something that you can pull out when you're on a business meeting, but is still capable of playing most of the games available on the Android ecosystem with capable cameras taking, awesome photos, especially videos, this might be the phone for you. So that is a very light review of the Mi 11 Lite 5G new edition. So what are your thoughts about this new 778G chip that's being used on, mid-range phones today? Is it sufficient enough for gaming or not? comment it down below and we'll discuss those. Again, this is Ian again. I'll be seeing you on the next video.